Hey guys, welcome to my Feral Druid 8.3 guide, PvP, not PV. I'm really bad at PV. So, in this video, I'm going to cover stats, talents, essences, traits, and then go into your opener, burst, and rotation, followed by comps you can queue as a Feral Druid. I don't think I'll be touching on corruptions at all, because corruptions are getting nerfed to the ground, and they seem to be this ever-changing thing at the moment. And I haven't even tried most of them out, so once I get my hands on the corruptions and actually know what's best, I'll definitely make a video on what I think about those. But yeah, for now, let's dive into stats and talents. Alright, now moving on to stats. So as a Feral Druid, there are two stats that are definitely the best ones. It's mastery and versatility. The reason mastery is really good is because it just increases your damage by a lot, and it scales really well with the Feral Druid. While versatility not only also increases your damage and healing done, but it also makes you less squishy, and being squishy is one of the biggest downsides of Feral Druid. So that kind of makes that a little bit better, even though you'll still be pretty squishy. But it definitely helps out a lot by having high versatility. Alright, so now on to the talents. So the first talent row, we have Predator, Sabertooth, and Lunar Inspiration. On this row, the best one is definitely Sabertooth. Not only does it increase the ferocious bite damage by 20%, but it also extends the rip duration by 4 seconds per comp point spent, which plays into your rotation in a big way, which I'll touch on more in the rotation part. But Sabertooth is definitely the best one. And on the 30 row, we have Tiger Dash, Renewal, and Wild Charge. On this row, Wild Charge is, I would say, pretty much always the best one. Sometimes Renewal could be good. But overall, Wild Charge gives you high mobility. You can get in and out fast and juke people out. So it's a really good one. On the 45 row, we have Balance Affinity, Guardian Affinity, and Resto Affinity. So on this one, there are two that are pretty interesting. That is Guardian Affinity and Resto Affinity. So you'll mainly play a Resto Affinity versus most things, at least in 2s. In 3s, though, Guardian Affinity versus a Jungle Mirror versus Rogue Mage X, RMX. Can be the best thing to go, but it all depends a bit. But Guardian Affinity can be played sometimes for sure, because the Frenzied Regen is a really big heal, and it does help a lot. On to the level 60 row, we got Mighty Bash, Mass Entanglement, and Typhoon. On this row, Mighty Bash definitely beats the other two out by a lot, as they don't really have any good use in Arena. Mass Entanglement, no point. Typhoon, I guess you can knock a heal, but overall Bash is really big and way better. So Bash is your best talent here. On the 75 row, we have Soul of the Forest, Savage Roar, and Incarnation. On this row, I would say Soul of the Forest is pretty much always the best one. Incarn is quite good in duels, where it's a pretty short amount of time you're actually in combat, or in double DPS 2v2 can also be pretty good. But I'd say play Soul of the Forest pretty much always. And then you can try Incarn versus some things and see how it goes. But yeah, Soul of the Forest, best one. On to level 90 now, we have Scent of Blood, Brutal Slash, and Primal Wrath. On this row, it's not really any debate which one's better. Brutal Slash is the best one by a mile. Primal Wrath might be good in RBGs sometimes, but even then, I think Brutal Slash is better. And Scent of Blood, I don't even know what it does. Something to do with Thrash. Yeah, don't go Scent of Blood. That is for sure. Alright, now onto the level 100 row, where we have Feral Frenzy, Blood Talents, and Moment of Clarity. On this row, I would say the best one is Feral Frenzy, and I think most Feral Druids do play Feral Frenzy, as it gives you a lot more damage in burst goes. But Blood Talents is definitely viable, and you can play it in some comps. Maybe if you play with a Warlock or Fire Mage, it might be pretty good. You can kind of try to like rot the team down. But overall, I think Feral Frenzy is your best bet, and it plays well with the PvP talent you have, which is a Ferocious Wound, which I'm going to get into very shortly now. Yeah, Feral Frenzy, I recommend. Now, onto PvP talents. We have the first one, which is your Trinket, Adaptation, or Relentless. Picking Trinket here is pretty much always the best thing you can do. There are like maybe some situations where you could go Adaptation, maybe versus like a Paladin in a duel. So don't get stunned as often. But overall, definitely play Trinket the most. And Relentless as well, maybe sometimes, but overall Trinket's the best thing by far. On the second one we have, now we have 3 different ones. But there are 4 talents we want. We want Clone, we want Thorns, we want Leader of the Pack, and we want Ferocious Wound. But we can only pick 3, so here it depends. If you're facing a Caster Cleave, you don't need Thorns ever. Then you go Cyclone. The one talent I always play is Leader of the Pack. That one I never swap out, but Clone can be swapped out, and Ferocious Wound can be swapped out, depending on what you're facing. So you kind of got to gauge it. If you're facing a melee cleave, Thorns is huge. It can be a big percentage of your damage. And sometimes you might want Clone and Thorns. Then I'll swap out Ferocious Wound for Thorns and have Cyclone, Leader of the Pack, and Thorns. But yeah, the PvP talents swap around a lot. If you have any questions about that specifically against certain comps, throw me a message and I'll answer it. But yeah, now on to essences and traits. All right, so for essences, as of 8.3, we have 3 minor essence slots and still 1 major, as we always had. So first of all, with the major slot, I think the best one is still Flame, the Crucible of Flame. But this might change really soon with Breath of the Dying being really strong. Especially once it gets to rank 3, I think it might be better. But that is still yet to be seen. But yeah, like Breath of Dying and Crucible are both a good major. And I think you can play around with both. And as the season's new, I don't know yet for sure. But both are good. You can try them out. For minor now, I'm using Breath of the Dying as my first minor. It's really good as it does half of the damage it did in healing, which is quite huge. My second minor is Conflict and Strife, which pretty much gives you a perma versatility boost in arena. So that is really big as well. As versatility as a Falldred is probably your best stat with mastery, as talked about earlier. That one is really nice. For my last minor, I'm playing Memory of Lucid Dreams. This one is quite grindy to get. Not as grindy anymore, but it takes a while, but it's definitely worth getting, as it not only heals you and refunds energy spent, but it also gives you 400 versatility every time that procs. And again, versatility is huge. The more versa, the better. So definitely worth getting. So for traits, you definitely want to get the right ones, as it is really important for Falldred to have the best traits possible. And the best traits possible are, in my opinion, 2 Instincts, 2 Iron Jaws, 1 Jungle Fury, and 1 Wild Flesh Rending. So I think most Ferals would agree that you want at least 2 Iron Jaws, 2 Masterful Instincts, 1 Jungle Fury, but the Wild Flesh Rending you can probably swap out for 1 more Jaws, 1 more Instincts. It's kind of up to you, but definitely want to have something like that. So the pieces of gear you can get to get these. There are a few different variations, but the ones I'm using the Corrupted Gladiator's Leather Helm, which has a Instincts trait and an Iron Jaws trait, which is really good. The shoulders are the Gladiator's Leather Mantle. I have a Notorious right now, but they're going to be Corrupted, and they have the same traits on Corrupted and Notorious. And they have Jungle Fury, Iron Jaws, which is also really good. And for my chest, I have Masterful Instincts, Wild Flesh Rending, and that is on the Gladiator's Leather Jerkin. So what's really good about this, you can get all these 3 from PvP. So they're pretty easy to obtain. And they have your best stats. Best traits. So there's that. One of the reasons Iron Jaws is so huge is because it really makes your goes even more deadly than they were before. While Masterful Instincts is really good because 30 seconds after you use a wall, you get increased armor and increased mastery. So after a go, or after their go, when you've used your defensives, you're even more deadly after when you switch to go on them. And the best minor trait, I think, is Blood Siphon, as it increases your mastery, which is really good as well. But yeah, so you want those traits in some capacity. Again, 2 Instincts, 2 Iron Jaws, and 1 Jungle Fury is needed, I think. And then you can pick the last one yourself and try and mix and match a bit and see what works for you. But I definitely suggest having 1 Flesh Rending as well. All right, so now that you got your right stats, talents, traits, and essences, you're ready to try and kill some people in a video game, of course, in the arena. And I'm gonna go over how to do good goes. So basically, in your goes openers, the three main things are Ferocious Bite, Feral Frenzy, and Tiger's Free. Those three abilities kind of are what dictates your go. You can see on my down right here what abilities I'm using. Thrash, if a Brutal Slash. So you can pay attention to that, and it might make it more clear. And I'm gonna do it on this dummy right here. So what I'm gonna do in the opener is Rake, Rip, Feral Frenzy, Tiger's Free, Bite. The reason you do one compoint Rip is because you're playing Sabertooth, which increases the duration of Rip by 4 seconds per compoint spent. So your Rip is gonna be made to a full Rip once you do a 5 compoint Bite, which is really, really big. In these goes, if you have a badge, you can use a badge. That's all situational. Like, you gotta speak to your partner if you're gonna use badge this go, if you want to like try force everything, or you can do a kind of bait go where you don't use everything, but you try force their defensives. So that's all very situational, but the go and opener is this right here. So now I'm gonna do it. Rake, Rip, Feral Frenzy, Bite. In that opener now, you have a full Rip going and Rake. And you can throw Flamestar at that too, but that's what I'm going to cover now. So that's the opener. I'm going to do it again in 30 seconds, but then do it into a actual go. So I might have to speed through this part or wait. Or actually, to get a best goal going, you want to probably have your Iron Jaws procced. So we can try get it now. It's like a 50% chance almost to get it per bite, per 5 compoint bite. So because of your Iron Jaws trait. There we got it. Okay. Really good. So now you have full bleeds going. You've done your opener. You're just fighting. And you have an Iron Jaws proc. ESOP stun DR. You might, yeah, you have 2 flames ready too. So what you now is you want to use your Tiger's Free into Maim, into Frenzy, into Big Bite, into Flame, and then maybe a restun, and then it's huge. So here we go. Maim, Bite, Flame, restun, and then keep bleeds going, and then maybe Bite again. And that's basically your goal. That's a lot of damage. You do not want to have a gap on the stuns. I think I had a slight gap there. You want to try avoid that so they can't squeeze in like a defensive or a big self heal, which can ruin your go. But yeah. Now on to kind of like your rotation. When you don't have a goal, you're not opening, just kind of damaging. So you just did you go? You have full bleeds going. You bite. You just want to keep bleeds going. Basically maintaining bleeds while brutal slashing and shredding when you can until your next go. You can use Berserk to make this easier. You know, and just maintain these. And then once you get your go again, you can like bash and then do it again. Every 45 seconds, you have a big go. And then maim off this, maybe. And that's basically it. So, to summarize. On your go, if you can, have Iron Jaws proc. That's huge. If you don't have Iron Jaws, you can bash for the stun. And then use 2 bites instead of 1 Iron Jaws and 1 bite. On your opener, it is Rake, Rip, Feral Frenzy, Tiger's Free, Bite. And then in between that, like in between the 45 seconds, you don't have a go. You just want to maintain full bleeds by shredding, brutal slashing, and biting before Rip fades to keep it going. And then again, you gotta go again, bash, 1 bite, Feral Frenzy, bite, flame, and then if you have a Shadow Maul, you can Shadow Maul stun or whatever, and yeah. That's basically it. So, now I'm gonna go into what comps are pretty good for Feral, and what you maybe should try to play, and maybe some fun comps too, like Feral Druid Hunter, which isn't the best comp, as double DPS is not doing too hot right now, but it's really fun. So, alright, so now onto the final part of this video. where I'm going to cover like viable comps you can play as a Feral Druid. When it comes to macros and add-ons, I'll probably do a separate video on that. If that's something you want to see, then definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, so now on to comps for Feral Druid. So in threes, the most notable comp you can queue is Jungle Cleave, where you have a Hunter, a Feral Druid, and a Priest. You can also go with a Holy Paladin, but Priest is what's the best choice for healer for sure. So what makes jungle really good is that you can do a stun trap into a potential fair pretty much every 30 to 40 seconds, depending on how the game's going. So let me see if I can get an Iron Just now so I can show it properly. Okay, we got it. Okay, so this is healer, this is kill target. So you have full bleeds going. And then let's say it's my turn to bash now for the trap. So now I'll bash the healer, and then I'll maim the DPS, and then he's gonna get trapped off this. And then full trap, and then the DPS kind of dies there, usually. But then you got to go through like their trinkets and defensives by doing this like quite often, and then when they have no more defenses left, you'll probably score the kill. That's what makes jungle really good. For other threes comps, you can do like Feral Druid, Destrolock, Holy Paladin, or Feral Druid, Fire Mage, Holy Paladin. Those comps are pretty good too. But jungle is definitely the best comp for Feral Druid in threes. For twos, you can play pretty much with any healer. The best ones are probably with a Priest, with a Paladin, or with a Resto Druid. But you can do with any healer. I just gotta see based on what you're facing, what talents you want to pick. If you're facing like a melee, you probably want Thorns. If you're facing a caster, you don't want Thorns, you want Clone. Sometimes you might make one Clone and Thorns. But yeah, you gotta see like what you're playing with. If you're playing with a Priest, and Clone isn't really needed because it DRs with Fair. But yeah, you gotta kind of see that based on what you're playing with. If you have any questions, just send me a message and I can see. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, if you want a macro add-on video, then hit me up in the comments and I'll make that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you on Twitch, probably. Take it easy.